My wife invited her lover home, but I had a brutal gift planned. Reddit cheating stories. I'll never forget the moment my world cracked open. I came home late one evening, exhausted from a long day at work, only to find a half-whispered phone call echoing from the kitchen. My wife, Emma, didn't know I was standing in the hallway. She didn't know I had heard the warmth in her voice, the way she laughed softly in a way she hadn't with me in months. And she certainly didn't know I caught the words that would haunt me for weeks. Yes, come over. He won't suspect a thing. That was the moment the foundation of my marriage collapsed. Emma and I had been married for 7 years. We had built a home together, shared inside jokes, made plans for the future. Or at least, I thought we had. But what happens when the person you trust the most, the person you've promised your life to, betrays you in your own home? At first, I was stunned. I wanted to believe I had misheard, that it was innocent. But deep down, I knew. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I went into silent observation mode. I watched her closely for days, noticing things I had ignored before: the late night workouts, the sudden guardedness with her phone, the shift in her attention. I'd catch her texting with a faint smile on her lips, quickly turning the screen over when I walked by. The signs were clear. When the confirmation came, it wasn't through a detective or a dramatic confrontation. It was through her own carelessness. She left her phone unlocked one morning while she showered. The messages between her and her lover weren't just flirty, they were explicit, filled with plans and promises. And one message, in particular, cut me to the bone. I can't wait for you to see our house. He'll never see it coming. Our house. My house. The place I paid for, maintained, and poured my soul into. I wanted to scream. I wanted to confront her then and there. But instead, I sat quietly in my car that morning, thinking. Rage burned in my chest, but under it was a cold, sharp clarity. If she wanted to bring her lover into my house, into our home, then I would give them a welcome they'd never forget. That was the birth of my brutal gift. I started planning. Not violence, not destruction. I wasn't going to ruin myself for her mistake. Instead, I decided to give Emma exactly what she thought she wanted: freedom. But it wasn't going to be a quiet, hidden exit. I would make sure the truth came out in a way she would never forget. The night arrived. Emma had been texting all day, and her energy was electric, nervous. She cooked dinner, something she hadn't done in ages. The table was set with candles. It would have been romantic, if I didn't know the reason. I told her I'd be working late, kissed her forehead, and drove off. Except I didn't go to work. I parked a block away and waited. I saw him arrive. A tall man with confidence in his stride, carrying a bottle of wine like he belonged there. He knocked on my door, and my wife welcomed him inside. They laughed together, moving with an ease that told me this wasn't their first time. That was when I made my move. I walked up the driveway with a large gift-wrapped box in my hands. Inside the box wasn't a weapon, wasn't something cruel or dangerous. Inside was the most brutal truth of all: evidence. I had printed every text, every photo, every message between them. I had written a letter of my own, outlining what this meant for our marriage, our finances, our future. And, tucked at the bottom, were divorce papers already filled out, needing only her signature. When I rang the bell, Emma opened the door. The color drained from her face instantly. Her lover stood behind her, confused. Surprise, I said calmly, handing her the box. I brought a gift. She stammered, trying to explain, but I walked past her and set the box on the dining table. Open it, I told her. Her hands shook as she untied the ribbon. The first page she pulled out was a printed screenshot of her text: "Can't wait for you to see our house." She froze. Her lover leaned over, reading silently, then slowly stepped back from her side. The room filled with the weight of silence, broken only by her shallow breathing. "This," I said, gesturing to the box, "is everything you gave me. Every lie, every betrayal. And here," I pulled the divorce papers out from the bottom, "is what I'm giving you in return. You wanted him, you can have him. But not in my house. Not in my life." Her lover didn't say a word. He simply grabbed his wine bottle and walked out, leaving Emma standing there, shaking and humiliated. She begged, she cried, but I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I simply told her the truth. You made your choice. This is me making mine. That was the last night Emma lived in my house. The weeks that followed weren't easy. Divorce is never easy, even when you're the one who knows it's right. There were nights I questioned myself, nights the loneliness felt unbearable. But with every passing day, I realized something powerful: betrayal doesn't define you. Someone else's dishonesty doesn't diminish your worth. Emma wanted excitement, something new. What she didn't realize was that what we had, trust, loyalty, partnership, was worth more than fleeting thrills. She lost that, not me. Today, I'm rebuilding. I've found peace in solitude, strength in the storm I survived. And maybe someday, I'll find love again, love that values honesty and commitment. But even if I don't, I know one thing: I will never again accept less than I deserve. So if you've ever been betrayed, remember this: you are not defined by what someone else did to you. You are defined by how you rise from it. My wife invited her lover into my home, but I walked away with something far more valuable than either of them expected: my dignity, my freedom, and the power to start over. And that was the most brutal gift of all.